Hello. I am going to bake a lot of things. I feel like whenever I bake and I turn on the oven, I just put as many things in as I can. So I've been craving cinnamon rolls for a while, and then because not everyone in our family likes cinnamon rolls, I'm gonna try something different too with like an espresso chocolate filling. So I'm gonna make two versions of those, just multiplying the dough by 2, which is not the most scientific baking method, but it's gonna have to work for today because I'm too lazy to convert things over. So I've already put like some of the warm milk in the stand mixer, and then everything else is measured out around. So that's the first thing, cinnamon rolls, and then the chocolate espresso rolls. And then along with that, I'm gonna try and finally try the dried orange garlands that I keep seeing other people make, and hopefully it works. So the method that they put in the recipe is very different from how I normally make bread. So I think I'm just gonna do it my way and hope it works out. So I'm just gonna do sugar first into the milk, and then I'll measure my yeast and put it in. Now it's the gross part that I really don't like, which is the eggs. I think it's 1 egg and 1 egg yolk, so I'm just gonna take that and make it 2 eggs and 2 egg yolks. Very strange conversion. And wash my hands. Okay, now I'm just gonna add the salt and the flour and then just let it all kind of mix together and combine just a little bit. I'm gonna squat before adding the butter, because I don't know why the original recipe kind of tells you to add the butter with all the other liquids, but I feel like that doesn't work well with bread dough. So it's always better to add the oil after some combining. Okay. It's not plugged in. It's somewhat combined, but it's also kind of struggling because I think it's dry without the butter. So I think I'll just add it now. And then basically you just let it knead for around like 8-10 minutes, and then we let it rise. Okay, so the dough is done kneading. So I'm just gonna cover it up, and then it'll rise for around an hour to an hour and a half. I'm guessing it's gonna be more like an hour and a half because we're in the winter, so it's really cold. So it'll take a little longer. And then in the meantime, I'm gonna start on the orange slices for the garland and also the filling for the rolls. So I'm also just sick of voicing everything over. So I think I'm just gonna film and we'll play some music. So enjoy. Finally get to eat some after it took a whole day. The cinnamon crystallized at the bottom, so it's really good. That's bomb. Still have to try the chocolate one later. Finally treated ourselves to some nice scented hand soap, and they're Christmas themed, so it's the perfect time to put them up as well through the different washrooms and in the kitchen and everything. There's one for each sink, which is perfect. That was so hard to open, but now it's time for a sniff test so we decide which smell fits best in each room. There's orange spice, holly berry.
That's kind of funny.
Oh, like the actress?
Yeah, it sounds like that.
Vanilla cinnamon, and balsam fir. Okay, we'll see our decision. Hello, another busy day and some nighttime vlogging. I finally have my Christmas sweater on. It says Happy Holidays, and I just really love the font when I bought this. I think it's so cute. Anyway, so finally getting into the Christmas mood now that it's only a few days away. And I did skip over yesterday, but getting back into reading Our Wives Under the Sea. Still the weirdest book to be reading during Christmas time, but we'll see how it goes. So I left off after reading the first section of the story. So that was the section called, gotta open the book first. There we go, it's open. It's the section titled Sunlight Zone. So I got through that little portion of exchanging between Miri and Leia's perspectives, and now we're going into the Twilight Zone. Recap for people who weren't here for day 2 of Vlogmas. This is a book about a woman who gets trapped under seas in a submarine for 6 months, and it starts off after she has already returned home, and her wife are kind of just living through her trauma, experiencing their relationship evolve around it, and her wife is, I guess, trying to grasp at what happened to Leia, who was in the submarine during those 6 months that made her change so much as a person. Getting right back into it. It's just past midnight, so I'm gonna turn in for the night. I wanted to share really quickly though, there's this fun quote that, or not fun, but there's a very accurate quote here where where Miri is kind of discussing, or she's reflecting on her relationship with her mother, and part of it was being a caretaker for her mother. So in this quote, she says about her mother, "She refused almost every aspect of my help, the way women will when they've been bred to accept little more than the basest civility." Obsessed, spitting facts. Almost dropped my kobo. This book is just so beautifully written that it's both a joy to read, but also there's this looming feeling of just like claustrophobia, and you would think that it would be from the scenes of Leia being in the submarine, because the author really describes perfectly what that feeling is like, of just sinking down into the deep sea with no solution and no way back and all of that, and I have a fear of the open water, so that doesn't help. But I think that Julia Armfield, the author, does a fantastic job in just carrying that feeling and that atmosphere of just sinking and claustrophobia into even the present day narration after Leia has already returned from her 6 months in the submarine. So overall, just very like gloomy and very heavy to read. I think I'm gonna also start on simultaneously some lighthearted reading on the side that I will not include in the vlog, but just so that I can get myself to a very chill place before I go to bed, because I feel like this isn't like, it's not horror or gory or anything, but I feel like just the vibes of it and the feeling is gonna end up giving me nightmares at some point. So anyway, on that note, I'm probably gonna read The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year, which is a really popular Christmas book this year. I'll let you know how it is later on in this Vlogmas series. It should be a lot more cheerful, and that one's supposed to be like a fun kind of Knives Out murder mystery book taking place during Christmas. Sounds fun. I hope that the plot doesn't disappoint, because the last time I tried the themed reading, you know, with Halloween, the plot was a little disappointing. So I'm not gonna get my hopes up for this one, and hopefully it exceeds my expectations. All that aside, I hope you enjoyed watching today with the little baking adventures, and I'll be back again. So I'm not sure the exact order I'll post these yet, but we'll have a little kind of Christmas market situation, some movie nights, and also you can look out for 2 videos that are kind of like a yearly wrap-up situation. So one wrapping up all the books Connie and I have read this year, and then one on wrapping up all the movies that Connie and I have read this year. So look out for those as they come out in the next 3 days. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. I hope you go pick up this book because I'm nowhere near done, but I can already pretty much recommend it. Yeah, cool. Goodbye.